Hi, welcome back. My name is Ari, and today we are going to go over my TBR for Becca's BookopolAthon, which is a brand new readathon done by Becca in the Books, and it runs from September 1st to September 30th. Now, this is like wildly different from any other readathons that I've ever done, mostly in the fact that you kind of have to come up with your own prompts for it. Becca is known for doing her monthly TBRs with a Bookopoly board that she makes. She made one for 2019, did it all of 2019. She has a new board for 2020, been doing it this year. And then she had a special board that she created just for this particular readathon. And you can either recreate the board on your own if you are creative and artistic, or if you're not and you just feel artistic, or she does have online printable versions. I personally don't have a printer, and I'm not particularly artistic, or at least I'm too lazy to be artistic enough. So I am going to do all of the roles online, and I have set up the board in an online format so you all can see all of the roles done digitally. You are more than welcome to do the exact same thing I did. I just took the printable version and stuck it in a online recording program called OBS. You can use any of them, that's just the one that I used, and then I recorded it that way. So without further ado, let's get to the roles. I'm going to start by apologizing if this mic is really messed up, or if this whole setup is pretty ghetto. I'm not creative enough to redraw this entire thing, and I don't have a printer, so I'm doing everything digitally. So I'm going to give you a very quick tour of the board. First off, we have to the right the board itself with my little marker right here as my Discord profile pic, because it looks ridiculous and why the hell not. Then over right here, this is Google's dice roller thing. Like, you Google dice roller and it gives you this. I have set it up so it has 2d6 and it automatically kind of rolls for you. So it's stuck at 15 because that's what it was at when I added the second dice. So ignore that. That's not a roll. I wasn't practicing. It's just how Google works. You can go try it out for yourself if you don't believe me. So I am going to do 6 rolls, and let's just get to it. So the first roll is going to be 11. So 11 is disability rep. As you just saw, I rolled disability rep for the first prompt. And for that, I plan to read Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe by Franny Flagg. Now, I believe this does have disability rep because I've seen the movie, and there should be an older character, or an older female character with dementia, and there also should be a character who is missing an arm, which I'm not going to go into details of that because it's a spoiler. But like I said, there should be disability rep in here. I just don't know how good the disability rep is going to be, because this book was written in the 1980s, and it's a very problematic time for not like generic white people. So there's a very good chance that while this does have people with disabilities in it, the disabilities are going to be treated very poorly. If that is the case, because I need to read this for my Centuries reads anyway, so I'm going to be reading this regardless, but if it ends up having really bad disability rep, I will read I Have No Secrets by Penny Jolson. This is about a woman who is a paraplegic. She has no mobility and she is unable to talk, and she has the opportunity to get some technology that's going to allow her to communicate with those around her. But it turns out that her sister's boyfriend's a serial killer and he's been murdering people and telling her about it because he knows she can't rat on him. But what is she going to do now that he knows that she has access to this technology that's going to allow her to rat him out, and she has no way to defend herself? So definitely disability rep in this one. I just don't particularly have a whole lot of time to read extra books this month, so if Fried Green Tomatoes covers it, I'm going to read Fried Green Tomatoes and then read that at a different time. For the second roll, a 7. Young adult. As you just saw, our second roll was for a young adult novel, and for that I will be reading The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys, I'm gonna say is her name. And this was nominated for Goodreads Choice Awards 2019 as a young adult novel, or in the young adult category, so I know it's young adult, and I believe it's historical fiction as well, but I need to read it for my Goodreads 2019 challenge, so perfect timing for it. For the third roll, 5. Which is a standalone. As you just saw, roll number 3 is to read a standalone, and for that I'm going to read The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, and I don't really super know what this is about. From what I understand, it's about a butler's affair with a maid, but I read Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro in college and I loved it, so looking forward to reading more of his work, and hopefully this one is as awesome as Never Let Me Go. Roll number 4, 9. Something set in the present. As you just saw, the fourth roll was a book that was set in the present, and for that I am reading Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is like an alternate timeline, but it is modern, so I'm gonna assume that means it's set in the present. I don't read a whole lot of contemporary, or at least modern contemporary, but this is a male-male romance between the President of the United States' son and a British prince, and I believe it is Hate to Love, and it's really popular, and I need to read it even though I don't really have a whole lot of interest in reading it. It's won multiple categories in the Goodreads Choice for 2019, so not super into just romances, but apparently it's a good one. Roll number 5, 7. Highest rated. So for the highest rated prompt, I am going to go to my Goodreads for this and go right down here to the books that I own, because I don't want to buy another book for this. So every book that I own on audio, physical, or ebook, I have on here, whether I want to read the book or not, I still have it on here. So I am going to sort this by average ratings. I'm not dumb, it's fine. And so it looks like Blood Oath and Chain of Gold both have a 4.5, but this only has 6 ratings. So that I don't feel is an accurate representation of how people really feel about this book. So I am going to read Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare for this prompt. Alright, you just saw me pull prompt number 5, which was highest rated on my TBR, or which was highest rated, which I did highest rated on my physically owned TBR, and that was Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I've read some of the Shadowhunter books, but not all of them. I think I read like the first series set with Clary and Jace, and then I read the like steampunky ones, but it's been a long time, and then I read like a one-off, and then I haven't read whatever series was before this, so hopefully it's not needed because I'm not going to read those books just to jump into this one. But yeah, Chain of Gold. It's a thick boy. Wish me luck. And roll number 6, which hopefully is my final roll, unless I hit a double. I just cursed myself, didn't I? 10. A light cover. For roll number 6, I cursed myself. And it's a double, so while this was supposed to be my last roll, it is not. But I did land on a book with a light cover, and for this I am reading Queen of the Conquered by Case and Calendar. This would be my first Case and Calendar book, even though I've heard wonderful things about their writing, so I'm excited to read it. I hope it's as good as what I've heard. And roll number 7 for POC Rep. And the final prompt, thanks again for cursing yourself, is for POC Rep. For those of you who don't know, POC means person of color. So a book that reps a person of color, whether it is an author or the characters, it's very open to interpretation. For this I'm going with The Color Purple by Alice Walker. The Color Purple depicts the lives of rural African American women in Georgia in the early 20th century. This was made into a movie. It's fairly famous, fairly well known. I think everybody's heard of it, but both the characters and the author are women of color, and this is supposed to be a very powerful, moving book. So I'm excited to read it, even though I am aware of the sexual assault scenes in this book, so maybe not for everybody. If you need trigger warnings, this one's got a lot of trigger warnings. And that is everything. Oh, 7 books doesn't really seem like a lot for me, but to be fair, I already had 10 books in my Century Challenge that I need to read, and it's coming towards the end of the year, so I need to close up on my end of the year challenges. And so I'm gonna keep it light this month. I didn't want to like add anything in. I will probably be doing vlogs this month for this, so if I finish reading everything early, I may add extra rolls, but we're gonna start with a nice, safe 7-book grounds for this one and see where it goes from there. But thank you for watching this video. If you are so inclined, I would really appreciate a like, a subscribe, and any comments you want to leave down in the description box, and I'll see you in the next one.